2022 position previews are here. Let's talk catchers next on Fantasy Baseball Today in 5. Welcome into FBT in 5. As always, make sure to follow and stream us on Spotify. Today is Monday, February 7th. I am Frank Stanfield, joined by Scott White. And typically, Scott, this position is not a great one. How are you feeling about catcher in 2022?
Look, it's still not a great position. It's still a position where, apart from a very select few, I'm kind of inclined to just wait till the end and get whatever I get. But this is the first year in quite some time. I mean, we're talking maybe like Joe Mauer, Victor Martinez days, where I've been enthusiastic about drafting the very number one catcher, Salvador Perez.
All right, let's take a look at the top 5 in ADP before we talk about Salvador Perez and why you like him as much as you do. Perez, the ADP is 33 right now, so a late third-round pick in 12-team leagues. JT Realmuto, 57.7 is the ADP. Will Smith at pick 67, Yasmani Grandal at 100.7, and then Daulton Varsho at pick 109. Scott, Salvador Perez is coming off a historic season. He just broke the record for home runs by a catcher with 48. He led baseball with 121 RBI. The question is, what do you see as a repeat here in 2022?
I got another historic number here for Salvador Perez. Only 2 catchers in Major League history have ever led the league, all of the majors, in home runs and RBI. Johnny Bench did it twice, and now Salvador Perez is the other one. So that's who's, that's who that season compares to. It was about 3 times as many home runs as the consensus number 2 catcher, JT Realmuto. Perez was far and away the singular biggest advantage you could have at any position last year. And I think he only has to come like 2/3 of the way to last year's home run and RBI total to be that again. And I'm not expecting him to have 48 home runs and a league-leading RBI total again, but, he was the number 1 catcher by far in 2020 as well. It's just that was the short season. We all wrote it off, small sample, whatever. So 2 years in a row now, he's been this monster at the position, which gives me a lot of confidence he can be, again, that and the playing time advantage he has, starting so many games at DH. He ended up playing 161 games last year, which you never see from a catcher-eligible player.
Yeah, his playing time last year was tremendous. 665 plate appearances, most by a catcher in a single season since Victor Martinez back in 2009. Even if Salvador Perez regresses, 75% of his production from last year, 36 homers, 90 RBI, I would say that comes close to being the number 1 catcher again, or in fact, being the number 1 catcher. Let's do sleepers, breakouts, and busts here, Scott, at the position. Give me your favorite sleeper heading into 2022.
Okay, so this guy's going well outside the top 200, Mitch Garver. It seems like everybody's forgotten how good he could be. Injury plagued the last couple years. 2020 was a total miss. Not only was he injured most of the time, he struck out 40% of the time. I think everybody was tempted to write him off then, even though he was awesome in 2019, 995 OPS. Best catcher on a per game basis by far. Okay, so 2019, amazing. 2020, awful. Last year, he was hurt a lot again and sat more than I'd like even when he was healthy, but he delivered an 875 OPS, which was actually better than Salvador Perez's OPS. So he bounced back, at least in terms of per game production. We just need to see him stay on the field. We just needed to see the Twins use him at least 2/3 of the time. I don't know why they won it. Their lineup's not that great. But if that happens, and the fact that he costs you nothing, I mean, that's what you're looking for in a late round catcher, is somebody who can rise above, that Omar Narvaez, Yan Gomes type production. And Mitch Garver is clearly that.
Yeah, he crushed the ball last year, too, when he was healthy. 17.4% barrel rate. That was second at the position to only Mike Zunino. It was better than Salvador Perez. Scott, who do you have as a breakout here at the catcher position?
Dalton Varsho of the Diamondbacks. I think if any catcher has the potential to unseat Salvador Perez at number 1, and probably nobody does, but it would be Varsho, because he has a chance to get that kind of playing time as a part-time outfielder, part-time catcher. Very athletic, very fast for a catcher. Really the only legitimate base stealing threat at the position. Had a lot of high steals totals in the minors. And last year, He last year he really broke through with numbers much like he delivered throughout his minor league career. Over his final 57 games, he had a batting average close to 300 and OPS close to 900. There was power, there was speed, and that's the hitter he was throughout his minor league career. So the really sluggish transition to the majors early in the year brought his numbers down, but he finished showing what kind of upside he possesses.
Scott, in 20 seconds or less, who is your bust at the catcher position?
My bust is Tyler Stephenson, and it's really just because he's the 7th catcher going off the board on average. I think people are looking at his part-time numbers last year, projecting them over a full season. But, you look at the underlying numbers, how hard he impacts the ball. He's not, he's another basically 260 hitter with 15 homer type potential and not really big breakthrough potential.
For more extensive fantasy baseball coverage, listen to the Fantasy Baseball Today podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, your smart speakers, or anywhere else podcasts are found. And thanks for listening to Fantasy Baseball Today in 5. We'll be back again tomorrow morning. Bye-bye.